Assalamu alaikum, this is Salim Kadir welcoming you to news at 5 p.m. on BTV and BTV World. Very good afternoon. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said Bangladesh Army is always ready to serve the country and for the world peace in the UN missions and anywhere in the world. The Prime Minister was inaugurating the 46th Indo-Pacific Army's Management Seminar, IPAMS 2022, in Dhaka, joining through video conference from Ganabhavan this morning. The seminar involving 27 countries was co-hosted by Bangladesh Army and US Army Pacific Command and began with the theme Prospects and Challenges in Maintaining Peace and Security in the Indo-Pacific. The Prime Minister said Army of any country is one of the key elements for ensuring sovereignty. Born through the War of Liberation in 1971, Bangladesh Army has developed significantly over the time and is well known around the world for its great contribution to peace support operations, she said. The Prime Minister renewed Bangladesh's constitutional obligation that the government will always assist to maintain global peace, and its military has been playing a major role in global peacekeeping operations under the UN.
Army of my country is one of the key elements for ensuring sovereignty. Born through the War of Liberation in 1971, Bangladesh Army has developed significantly over the time. Today, Bangladesh is well known around the world for her great contribution in peace support operations. Bangladesh Army is always ready to serve the country and for the world peace in UN missions and anywhere in the world. Bangladesh has given shelter to more than 1.2 million forcibly displaced Myanmar nationals, FDMN. Apart from their own miseries, their prolonged presence is causing serious impact on the economy, environment, security, and socio-political stability of Bangladesh. It is our constitutional obligation that Bangladesh shall always assist to maintain global peace. Our military has been playing a major role in global peacekeeping operations under UN. We intend to maintain it.
Chief of Army Staff General S.M. Shafiuddin Ahmed also spoke at the function. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has called for consolidating cooperation among the countries of the world to check anti-human activities and transnational organized crimes with the advent of new technology. The Prime Minister said this while virtually inaugurating the 11th Annual Interpro Conference in a city hotel hosted by Police Staff College Bangladesh in Dhaka this morning. The Premier said digitalization of policing can be a great way forward to fighting terrorism, violent extremism and other tech-based crimes. The Prime Minister said policing around the world has become extremely challenging these days. In this present context, no single nation can address this on its own. To address all these menaces, there is no alternative to consolidating cooperation among the countries of the world, she said.
New challenges also being originated in the form of cybercrime, money laundering, counterfeiting of currency, terrorist financing, and other modern-day threats. Thus, policing around the world has become extremely challenging these days. To address all these menaces, there is no alternative to consolidating cooperation among the countries of the world. Digitalization of policing can be a great way forward to fighting terrorism, violent extremism, and other tech-based crimes. We have already graduated into a developing country from a least developed one. We would like to assert proudly that Bangladesh has placed itself as a role model of development on the world map. We have been connected to the highway of development, keeping pace with globalization. This remarkable Elevation stands testimony to our continuous success in every sector.
Chaired by the Inspector General of Bangladesh Police Dr. Benazir Ahmed, Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan, Senior Secretary of the Public Security Division Mohammad Akhtar Hussain, and President of Enterprise Professor Dr. Yilmaz Sholak also spoke on the occasion. Rector of Police Staff College, Bangladesh Khandakar Ghulam Farooq, gave the address of welcome. Deputy Leader of the Parliament, Syeda Sajeda Chowdhury, passed away last night. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. She was 87. She breathed her last around 11:40 p.m. at Combined Military Hospital in Dhaka. Sajeda Chowdhury, also President member of Awami League, was admitted to CMH after her health condition became critical on Friday. Sajeda Chowdhury, one of the organizers of the 1971 Liberation War, was born in Magura on May 8, 1935. She joined Awami League in 1956. She served as a founding General Secretary of Mahila Awami League from 1969 to 1975. Apart from politics, she also engaged herself in social works and contributed to the development of sports, cultural and religious institutions. In 2010, she was adorned with Shadinata Podok. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have expressed deep shock and sorrow at the death of President member of Bangladesh Awami League and Deputy Leader of the House, Syeda Sajeda Chowdhury. In separate condolence messages, they prayed for the eternal peace of the departed soul of Syeda Sajeda Chowdhury. They also expressed deep sympathies to the members of the bereaved family. Besides Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chowdhury, 14-party spokesman Amir Hussain Amu, President member of Awami League Sheikh Fazlul Karim Salim, Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir, Liberation War Affairs Minister AKM Muzammil Haq, Agricultural Minister Dr. Muhammad Abdul Razak, Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, members of the cabinet and leaders of different political and socio-cultural organizations also expressed deep shock at the death of Sajeda Chowdhury. The first janaza of Jatiya সংসদ Deputy Leader and Awami League lawmaker of Faridpur 2 constituency, Syeda Sajeda Chowdhury, was held at Maher Dandra Narayan Academy ground in Nagarkanda Upazila of Faridpur at noon. Earlier, her body was taken to Nagarkanda around 11 a.m. Thousands of leaders and activists of the party paid the last tribute to Sajeda Chowdhury. Awami League Organizing Secretary Mirza Azam Faridpur, Awami League President Shamim Haq, General Secretary Siak Arif, along with Awami League leaders and activists, participated in the janaza. After Namazi janaza there, the body was brought back to Dhaka and kept at Central Shahid Minar. People of all walks of life paid their respect to her there. Her Namazi janaza was also held at the Baitul Mukarram National Mosque after Asr prayer. She will be laid to eternal rest at Banani Graveyard. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has said BNP is now out to make the police an opponent. He said this in a statement today in response to BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir's falsehood, sedition and provocative speeches. Protesting the comments of BNP Secretary General that the police might also face an embargo, the Awami League General Secretary said such words prove that they were behind the so-called embargo. Obaidul Qadir said police will discharge their duties as per rules to protect life and assets of people. Police cannot sit idle when they come under attacks and there's violence in the name of movements, he added. In the statement, the Awami League General Secretary said that BNP has been paying for its politics of conspiracies and terrorism. Obaidul Qadir said if BNP doesn't return to the path of democracy, people of the country will give a befitting reply to them through ballots. Information and Broadcasting Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said relationship between Bangladesh and India is bound by blood, and the bond has grown stronger over the years. He said this after outgoing Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh Vikram Kumar Doraiswamy made a courtesy call on him at the Secretariat today. Dr. Hassan Mahmood said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's recent India tour was very much successful and Doraiswamy played a vital role in this regard.
তার অবস্থানকালীন সময়ে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী অত্যন্ত সফল একটি ভারত সফর করে এসেছেন এবং এই সফরে অনেকগুলো অর্জন আছে, যেমন কুশিয়ারা নদীর পানি আমরা নিতে পারব এবং ভারতের স্থলভাগের উপর দিয়ে বাংলাদেশের পণ্য তৃতীয় দেশে রপ্তানি করা যাবে, যেটির জন্য আমরা বহু বছর ধরে চেষ্টা করেছিলাম। এই সফরের মধ্যে সেটি সুরাহা হয়েছে। এছাড়া ভারতের যে কোনো বন্দর ব্যবহার করে বাংলাদেশের পণ্য আমরা অন্য দেশেও রপ্তানি করতে পারবো, সেই সমঝোতাও হয়েছে সেখানে। এটি একটি অত্যন্ত সাকসেসফুল সফর এবং এই সফর সাকসেসফুল করার ক্ষেত্রে মাননীয় হাই কমিশনারের অনেক বড় ভূমিকা ছিল। প্রকৃতপক্ষে ভারত বাংলাদেশের মৈত্রীতে রক্তের অক্ষরে রক্তের বন্ধনে আবদ্ধ। বঙ্গবন্ধু বায়োপিক রেডি, সেটি মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী দেখার পর তিনি ফাইনাল অ্যাপ্রুভাল দেওয়ার পর আমরা আশা করছি এবছরের মধ্যে সেটি রিলিজ করা সম্ভবপর হবে।
The outgoing invite, Doraswamy said, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's India visit was very much fruitful and this tour will consolidate the ties between the two nations.
The great clarity with which he has put out all of the information about Honorable PM's very successful state visit to India last week. I will leave Bangladesh very soon, but with great satisfaction that this wonderful country continues to be an even more important and closer friend of India's. As you know, the biopic on the life of Bangabandhu is ready, so that will hopefully be released soon at a time of the two governments choosing.
Army Chief General SM Shafiuddin Ahmed said Bangladesh Army is ready to work at any place under the United Nations to establish world peace. Shafiuddin Ahmed said Bangladesh Army and the United States have deep relations. He was speaking at the Meet the Press today, marking 46th Indo-Pacific Army's Management Seminar 2022. Bangladesh Army and Pacific Army of the United States jointly organized a three-day seminar in the capital. Commandant of the Pacific Army of the United States, General Charles F. Flunn, was present. Army Chief Shafiuddin Ahmed hoped that this seminar will play an important role to develop relationship between the member states. High Army officials of the 27 countries are taking part at the seminar. Earlier, Shafiuddin Ahmed and Charles F. Flunn paid their homage to the martyrs of the Liberation War at Shikha Anirban at Dhaka Cantonment. We now begin with international news. Multiple regions of southeastern Ukraine suffered electricity shortages and blackouts late on Sunday. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said the cause was missile attacks by Moscow on critical infrastructure. Full blackouts have hit Kharkov and Donetsk regions, Zelensky said in social media post, who blamed the incident on Russian terrorists. So far, Moscow has remained silent on the matter, neither confirming nor denying its involvement. The last week has seen a stunning transformation of the battlefield in eastern Ukraine as a swift armed offensive by Ukrainian forces rolled through lines of Russian defenses and recaptured more than 3,000 square kilometers of territory. That is more territory than Russian forces have captured in all the operations in Ukraine since April. King Charles III made her first visit as monarch to Parliament, where the MPs and peers have offered their condolences. In reply to Parliament's condolences, the new king said he cannot help but feel the weight of history which surrounds us and reminds us of the vital parliamentary traditions to which MPs and peers dedicate themselves. Parliament is a living and breathing instrument of our democracy, he said. After addressing the Parliament, the king flew to Edinburgh, where the Queen's coffin rests at the Palace of Holyrood House. Royal family members will walk behind the coffin as it goes to St. Giles Cathedral for public view. The Queen's funeral will be held in Westminster Abbey on Monday, 19th September. It will be a bank holiday. Earlier yesterday, Queen Elizabeth II's flag-draped coffin arrived at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh following a 6-hour journey from Balmoral Castle, where the United Kingdom's longest reigning monarch passed away on Thursday. The coffin will be taken from Holyrood House to nearby St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh on Monday, where it will remain before being flown to London for a state funeral on September 19. It will then be moved from Buckingham Palace on Wednesday to the Houses of Parliament to lie in state until the funeral at Westminster's Abbey. Sweden's Conservative parties look set to win power in Sunday's general elections, taking a razor-thin lead amid a surge in support for the far right. With 93% of electoral districts counted, figures showed the moderate Sweden Democrats, Christian Democrats and Liberals winning 176 of 349 seats in Parliament, with the centre-left of incumbent Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson trailing behind with 173. The leader of the Conservative bloc, Moderates leader ULF Kristersson, noted that while the election results could still change, he was ready to build a new and strong government. Andersson, whose Social Democrats have seen in government for 8 years, said results were too close to call and did not concede defeat on election night. Her party looked set to emerge as the country's biggest party with 30.5%. Election authorities said they did not expect a final result until Wednesday at the earliest, when votes from abroad and the last ballots from advance voting had been counted. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. We request you to follow the health guidelines. Please wear masks and stay safe from corona. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.